was a blast. Absolutely, that's why I met him. Yeah.
The full setup on car adjustment.
Tyler, what's going on, man?
Not much.
How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
Good, man. Good. So we got Ryan Wilhelm, Jeff Gordon tuning in. Who else we got in here? Paul Brimmeyer, the Iceman. Mike Phelps, Gary Hatfield. What's going on, everybody? So Tyler's first podcast. He's a little nervous. So everyone throw your comments in there and say what up.
Well, I'm just happy to be here. So.
Heck yeah, man. That's good, dude. That's good. So we are starting kind of a new thing on the SITREP. And basically what we are going to start doing is we're going to start showcasing the drivers. And we talked last week with Matt Ramirez and Lane Farka and kind of our smack talk per se, get everybody talking about what's going on and what with East versus West and everything. And so now we're talking to Tyler. You're part of the No Coast crowd.
Kind of started joking about that when we were at Portland because we saw a lot of the West Coast Optima badging that they were creative enough to put on some of the cars.
Yeah.
So we started joking about doing No Coast Optima for all the rest of us guys that are not East Coast or West Coast.
That's good, man. That's good. Oh man. So let's talk racing, man. When did you get started?
I've been racing on and off, just minor autocross events, especially back in Washington, at our local racetrack out there at Evergreen Speedway in Monroe.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was just once a weekend, once a month. Nothing crazy. They didn't have all the categories. It was literally rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, and front-wheel drive. And so it was just a track day for fun, essentially. But we would do it even with threat of snow or heavy rain. Just went out there and just had fun in the cars. We've raced in we had a 17 Chevy SS.
Nice.
Just like
Jesse Schaefer's.
Jesse's, yeah.
Yeah.
His is a lot nicer than ours was, but it's amazing how well that car did. We had a little Scion IQ, which at 100 horsepower max. It was fun. It was a little go-kart because it could handle very well for being such a little car, but my other half, Jen, got involved in autocrossing with me, and she kind of took that one over. And by the time we ended up moving out here, she was able to go around the track and almost not let off on that little car just because
that's awesome.
So underpowered.
Yeah.
But we've been doing autocross for a while, and we moved out to North Dakota, and we have a lot smaller racing season out here due to the winter. And so we looked at what our options would be, and I've been a fan of the Optima series for a while because I love the fact that they run SEMA cars, and that's where it started on the track to prove them. And then it just became kind of amazing builds competing, and so we looked into Optima.
That's awesome.
Kind of jumped into it with 2 feet. So
we're just going right in for it.
Yeah, we knew that if we were going to do any fun big car events, we were going to have to drive somewhere out here. So Jen and I talked about it, and we looked at Optima, and we're like, well, let's get a chance to go at these big tracks that we've never been to, and probably wouldn't get an option to necessarily run on. Let's give it a shot.
That's awesome, man.
And one of the best decisions we've ever made.
That's cool, man. So Jeff Gordon says that you better not mess up. We are all watching.
That's fine.
Yeah. Chris Brown says hi. He says he's throwing in the comments. He says that's the way to do it. We got quite a few people on board right now. Eric Heller, Chris Brown, Ricky Lammy. Got all the good folks out at Optima watching, man. So that's good stuff. So when did you make the decision to get the Colorado then? So because that's not something you would really expect to see on track.
And that's one of the problems that I have is I love a lot of the cars that have wide platforms for aftermarket parts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like having them because I like being different.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I picked a platform that really nobody supports, and then I play the hard struggle bus game to play catch up.
So let's talk about the Colorado. So what year is it? What I mean, it definitely is different. So I mean that it stands out in and of its own right. And I mean, dude, you whip that thing around the track like there's no tomorrow.
So the fun part is it's still a V6. It's not V8 swapped. It's a V6. It's a 3.6 liter. It's got the 8-speed behind it. It's a 2-wheel drive, but it is a Z71. So don't think I've up badged it or not. It is a Z71. People give me crap about it all the time, but that's okay. It has the 3.6 in it, but the power adder that we've added to it is from Mallet Cars.
Oh, nice.
So one of the big things that they're known for is doing the V8 swaps on the Solstice and the Skies. So doing my research into the superchargers, after talking to them and finding out how much R&D they did to make a fun product that is actually capable of being under the Chevy or the GMC warranty.
Yeah.
And built for fun and reliability and warranty covered. Like, okay, so this sounds like a great idea. So I started talking to them more, and that's why we ended up going with their Stage 2 kit, which is a smaller pulley, their supercharger kit, and then we went with their full stainless exhaust, and then we went with their tune. And we're putting, I think, 480 to the crank and about 400 to the wheels right now on that little truck.
That's impressive, man.
If you ride in it, you will have a smile on your face. It's way more power than you expect of that little truck, and it is a blast. But knowing that they built it with reliability in mind too, where you look at some of the other supercharger kits for it, they don't meet the standards that Mallet has come up with this in their R&D. It's been an amazing kit so far. We absolutely love it.
Well, you know, one of the big things with Optima is reliability. I mean, you're going from the autocross to the speed stop to the big track, and you know, I mean, if you're not reliable on the big track, you're going to have a bad weekend.
So, Virginia last year was actually the first event out of the 4 events that we made at that point that we had the supercharger.
Mm-hmm.
So my very first run put me in the grass. Not because of the supercharger, because I wasn't ready for the amount of power that was behind it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually gotten to go full throttle in that yet.
Really?
And keep it straight. It'll smoke the tires off that truck so fast. It's absolutely amazing, and I have to build up my skills to reach the power level of that truck right now, and I'm okay with that.
That's awesome. So Eric Heller commented. And he says, Tyler rocks. He always brings a knife to a gunfight, but he's a knife wielding master.
I try my best. I know I'm not. I don't have the power. I don't have the suspension under me. It only has a Beltec 3/4 drop kit on it. Yeah, because that's literally the only kit that's made for that truck to lower it. Dang. My springs are too soft on it. Yeah. My brakes are essentially stock. I did have a big brake kit on it for the Invitational. Yeah. But that company has gone out of business, and so parts are harder to find for it. So it was a last minute decision to throw it on because I couldn't get my stock calipers in time because I caught them on fire at Virginia too. Virginia was eventful.
Yeah, that's good times, man.
Yeah, so all the way up till Virginia, we were running stock calipers. All we had were power stop pads and rotors. Yeah, and literally stock fluid too. So at Virginia, with the extra tires that we're running a 285 30/20 on the truck because it's a stock wheel and it's got a really stupid bolt pattern of a 6x120.
Oh yeah, they do. It's a weird bolt pattern.
Nobody makes anything for it. You have to have specially wheels made for it. So that's on the long list of upgrades at some point. But
yeah, I had one of those. I had a 16 Colorado for a little while, and I remember I was looking at wheels, and there was very few options for anything out there without using
all
some
off road.
Yeah, they're all
there's no
off road.
performance
They
ones.
weighed like 9 million pounds.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm good. I'll pass.
So with us having grippier, wider tires and more power, the brakes were the weak point. So it was they died out on the road course. They faded a little bit the day before, but the pedal went flat to the ground on the back side of the Patriot course right before it dips down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they went out, and I've got it on my video, and I used some choice words, and the brakes went out, but not like that.
God, man.
And so I literally I had nobody behind me, which was good, but I just kept shifting it down to first, and then as I was coming around to the exit, luckily they were already doing the checkered, so I just went straight back to the pits, and I got back, and the guy in the pit next to us was like, "Hey, your brakes are on fire." Awesome.
So, man.
So
it's not what you want to be told when you're coming off track.
No, so we've upgraded the fluid to the Modal 660. So
good.
Cooking the fluid is no longer going to be an issue.
no longer a deal though. So that's good, man. Yeah. Chris Brown says that's a pucker moment.
Yeah,
we got Ryan Razy joined in. What's going on, man? Chris Brown. He said Tim Gordon says ask Chris Brown about his brake issues. He I don't know if you've seen that. It was a SITREP we did a couple years ago, but Chris had a 97 Mustang, and he had a caliper lock up on at Summit Point, and he went around, and he is one of the few that has been inverted.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's definitely seen it upside down.
I don't know if I'd rather have a lockup or no brakes, because that's what I had, because it went straight to the floor. There was nothing.
Yeah.
Luckily, the pits over at Virginia were slightly uphill, so I was able to stop a little bit.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and share screen here and show so people can see your truck. Don't mind my technical difficulties, folks.
And it does have a full interior too. So
you haven't gutted this thing out at all?
Nope. When we were at Road America, our dogs actually got to go with us on the road cruise.
That's cool, man.
you can see one of the pups in the photos from us coming through the tunnel.
Yeah.
Yep, that's one of my favorite photos right there. I actually have a poster of it on my wall.
That's cool, man.
Mr. Kelly took an amazing photo on that one.
Dude, you're letting it hang out at Daytona, man.
That was a lifetime memory.
I can imagine.
I could not pay. If I won the lottery, I could never recreate that moment.
Dude, that's awesome. So was it supercharged for this event?
Say again?
Was it supercharged for this event?
No, I was still governed at that one. That one, I still had the governor all the way up till Virginia. So
really?
Yeah. So I was doing, I think I was doing about 101 because it was governed at 99 on the dash. But I was flat out on that one, and it was fun. I would do that in a heartbeat again.
That's so cool.
But yeah, we didn't even have the wider tires at that point. We were still running a 255/35 at that time.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a 300 treadwetter, so it wasn't like anything grippy. But it was an absolute blast. At Daytona, crossing the finish line at night, on my very last lap, when I got to see the checkered flag, that red GT40 that also competes with us.
Yeah.
He passed me right before that oval. So when I'm coming up to the finish line, I had a red GT40 in front of me with the checkered flags under the lights at Daytona. I can never recreate that again.
Oh man, that's like throwing it back 60 years and racing with Ken Miles.
And just trying not to have a heart attack at that moment, just from sheer happiness. I had a GoPro on at the time, but it decided to move during those last laps, and it was pointing at the headliner. So you get to hear my reaction, but you don't get to see anything.
That's cool, man. So Jeff Gordon asks, do you launch in 4-wheel drive?
I actually don't have 4-wheel drive.
So it's 2-wheel drive Z71.
But I do put it in tow haul mode. So
Nice. Dude, that's the way it works, man. That's so cool. That is so cool. All right, so
that's when we put on the mount supercharger right there. So it does actually use the stock airbox, but we've modified the airbox to that.
Yeah.
And so if you look at it, it almost looks like it's stock, like it's meant to be there. You can't see the cooling tank for it. On one of the things that they did in their R&D is that the intercooler up front, they talked to GM Performance to find out how much space it could take up in front of that radiator without going and taking away from the cooling.
Yeah.
They have maxed out the amount of space that they could use with that intercooler without affecting the reliability of the cooling.
That's awesome, man.
It's insane. And then I also cut out the bow tie. I made my own flow tie. I literally took a Sawzall to that gold piece right there in the middle.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And I'll tell you, you get some suspension work done on this thing, and you're going to have some serious D&E points because nothing exists for it.
Correct. And thankfully for going to SEMA last year, I've actually made a couple contacts that I'm trying to work with right now to come up with something to get us some, because look at that body roll.
Yeah.
And I got a rear sway bar on that thing too.
You're digging deep right there.
But it's just so much fun because it's like it's not supposed to be on a track. It's just not. But
you know what though, man? That's half the fun of it. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, this really shows ultimate street car, dude. You're who else is going to be out there running the road course and then heading to Home Depot to pick up some mulch the next day?
Right. So on this picture, you can actually see where the gold is gone. That's actually cut out. There's nothing there.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I do have a picture. We thought it was kind of funny that between one of the events, we had to take the little truck to the grocery store. So I've got a picture of it with all of the Optima stickers still on it. And the tailgate's down, but it's got groceries lined up in the back.
That's cool, man. That's perfect. Oh, dude, that's so damn cool.
And that picture is one of my favorites. That was like the last photo of everybody getting rolling out at the end of SEMA, at the end of our road event, everything. Yeah. And that came out so perfect for me. There's so many memories just in the one photo.
Oh yeah, man. That's badass, dude. Like, it looks good. Not only does it look good, like you're out there tearing it up, and like it looks like it belongs on track.
It's so much fun. I've come up with a few little things I want to try to do to it at some point, but we only have a little garage at our apartment, so I can't necessarily do all that stuff here. But like this photo is just, hey, there's like so many little things that are done to it, like the roof spoiler. Mm-hmm. They don't make it for the slider rear window, so we had to modify that so it fit. The little spoiler on the tailgate, I actually had to drill into my paint to put that on. Man. And then the step that's closest to you in the photo, if you look at the left side of it, it is actually peeled out because before we got the full exhaust, like just a little right between the two little dots on the end, right there. So that's actually sticking out. So at Road America, we didn't have the good exhaust on it. We saw the stock exhaust because we weren't modified, but I had cut the exhaust so that way it would fit a little bit better with the lowering kit.
Yeah.
Well, at Road America, it billowed so much heat right in that spot, it melted that piece outward.
Oh God.
So it's just kind of funny because we couldn't figure out why there was damage on the truck, but there's no scratches or anything else. And if you crawl underneath, it literally melted the clips that push that in. And since we're on the track, the air pushed it out after it had melted.
Dang, dude. Wow.
So much fun.
That's incredible.
I'd do it again.
Dude, that's cool, man. So, yeah, Chris Brown says he's had the same thing that happened. Chris Fitz says it looks like a load of fun. He just told his wife that they need a new truck.
Well, I know a good supercharger kit for it that I strongly recommend.
That's cool, man. There's another good one. That's a really good picture.
So with that, that's one of my favorite photos because it's at SEMA, because I've wanted to go to SEMA like most of us have since we heard about SEMA. We're all car guys. We know about SEMA. Like people that aren't into cars, they don't know about it.
Yeah.
They don't know what it means. And just being able to be there was such a bucket list that I couldn't even describe it to you. It blew me away. Like, Co Plus does the headlights, and we were the second set, I think, in North Dakota, but we were the first 2-wheel drive in North Dakota with those lights.
Yeah.
And Co Plus was at SEMA. They came out and took pictures of the truck too while we were racing.
That's so cool, man.
And just because they heard that we were running their lights and they were new as of right before November of last year, year before this. So they got to come out and take photos of their product actually performing on track and stuff. So it was kind of fun.
That's awesome, man. So Tim Gordon says, real question, East Coast or West Coast? And Chris Brown responded back with a no coast hashtag.
Exactly, no coast.
We were talking about this last week. So we've got the East Coast and we've got the West Coast.
Yep.
We got the no coast and then we have Texas. So Texas
always has to be itself. Texas is always just Texas, and we all.
Tim Gordon says it says it's not an option. You got to split the country right down the middle.
Well, I think oddly enough, North Dakota is literally right in the middle.
That's awesome, man. So you had a good time out there, man, and that's great to see. Because I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're all here for. We're out here to run, have fun, and you go out and enjoy what we enjoy. I mean, it's about being on track. It's about spending time with people. And, one thing that we've noticed, and I've personally noticed, some of my best friends in the world all came from the racetrack. I've got a lot of time in the military, and I'll tell you, I find very similar camaraderie at the racetrack as I do, from the military. So
I know you'll give me crap, but I am a former coastie.
Hey, you know what? I'll tell you, you're the smart guy by going being a coastie, man. Shit. I look back and I'm like, man, I could have been so much smarter to be in the Air Force, the Coast Guard, or something.
Well, the way I looked at it is we're always saving lives and we're always close to a beach.
Exactly, man. That's exactly it. I mean, you spend 20 years in the Army and retire, you're getting the same retirement you get 20 years from the Coast Guard. I mean, it's just a lot better of a deal. You're living in a lot better places.
Yeah. I was stationed in Hawaii, so I was stationed at Barbers Point for a bit.
No kidding, man. That's awesome.
Got to look at the surf out of my office every morning. So
yeah, every morning, and you're probably living within a walking distance of the beach anyway.
We were actually a little farther in town, but I mean, 10 minutes you're at the beach. I mean, it wasn't even it wasn't much.
Oh man, that's so cool. So what is your plan for this year? What are you looking at running for this year?
So I think right now on the books we have Road America, Portland, and VIR again, just like last year. That's what we planned on.
Okay.
And we got talked into doing Daytona, which I absolutely love. That was probably one of our best random decisions ever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Jen's favorite racetrack now is Road America.
Yeah.
Absolutely loves that track. We have family back in Washington still, so going to Portland is important for us.
Good.
And that was our first track. And then VIR again because it's a strategy thing.
Yeah.
You don't always have to have the best, highest performance truck to get there. Sometimes you just need to show up, have fun, and be safe.
Yeah.
So, you get the highest points at the 2 events. So if you only go to one event, obviously you're going to be limited on points. But we were able to get enough points when we were at Virginia that gave us a spot to get to SEMA. So,
that's awesome.
I know that Road America and Portland as strategy side of it is going to be pretty tough.
Yeah.
There's going to be, I think there's like 8 or 9 trucks already registered for Portland. So it's going to be a heavy field, which I'm okay with. If I show up and have fun, I'm good. I don't ever have to win anything because the experience for me is way more. If I get something out of it, that's a bonus. Like,
I mean, you're putting a Colorado on the road course, man. I mean, you're getting some serious experience out of that.
And if you look at Portland and Road America last year, it was actually pretty funny because the truck was almost stock performance wise.
Yeah.
And it was such a learning curve. But, it was so much fun. Just meeting people and stuff. I've got lifelong friends now that I look forward to. Like, that downtime between SEMA and that first event, that sucks. Like,
it does, man.
It's like the longest part of the season. It's like 2 years, I think, between those two. And it's like 3 months.
Yeah, man. It's that winter build season, but nobody ever builds in the winter. They wait till like late spring. And
yes.
If you're running Sebring in early, mid-February, then your build season starts like January 31st.
Yep. We were actually going to try to get down to Sebring, but it just didn't end up working out for us. And we get it,
It's a long haul for you guys. I mean, that's got to be at least 2,000 miles.
Oh yeah, last year we put 21,000 miles on my Ram towing.
Jeez, that's a haul.
We knocked off some of Jen's bucket list stuff, and she got to see 21 new states. So that was a lot of fun, and we started fun little family traditions with that.
Yeah,
it was so many different levels of crazy between our first time going down to Portland. We had brakes done. You never do things on your vehicle before you go on a vacation. I know. But they had a new guy do the brakes on our truck. Well, we towed the truck, trailer, the race truck, us and the 2 puppies down to Portland, get down to Portland late at night, and I'm hearing a weird sound. Well, when I hit the brakes, that sound goes away.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little worrying.
Yeah, that's going to be a concern.
Found a hotel, and I crawled under first thing in the morning, and the 2 top rotor bolts were gone on both sides.
What?
So the rotors were literally held on by the bottom bolt. After going through all those mountains, all that, like 1,200 miles.
Yeah.
And so the dealership in Vancouver had a couple bolts, and they got us in, but and then we had a guy try to run us off the road, Montana, at midnight because he didn't like my LED headlights on his truck, and he had a lower truck with no tent. Not my fault.
Yeah.
And then it was a learning curve that first time, but we would do it again.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So, well, Road America will have a lot of our drivers out there. Chris Brown's going to be there. Tim Gordon's going to be there. Jeff Gordon's going to be there. Make sure, hang out with those guys when you're out there.
Oh yeah.
Braden's my brother. You've seen him on a handful of times. He will be out there in Portland. He lives up in Washington, outside of Seattle. So
I'm sorry.
He's up in Olympia.
Olympia's not too bad, but like north of Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, we're good.
He's active duty in the Army still. We're trying to get him moved down to Florida, so we'll all be co-located together.
Nice.
But yeah, he's going to be up at Portland as well. So definitely, man, he's building an S10. He's going to hopefully in a couple of years be running in the truck class with you. Well,
speaking of him being up in Washington, I got a nice little promo here for 425 Motorsports. They're up in Kirkland. Okay,
yeah.
They do parts, fabrication, racing, and safety equipment.
Nice.
So, I can proudly say that I'm a sponsored driver from them this year, and I really appreciate the opportunity. And last year, they were the ones that helped me out get my fire suit ready. Their knowledge on different fire suits, materials, sizes. I basically was able to order one custom to me.
Good, man.
And they have racing seats available to sit in their showroom. You can actually test them before you buy them. So if you're like me, you can't fit into those really skinny seats, you can test them out.
That's good, man.
But I definitely want to give them a shout out. They're out in Kirkland, so 425 Motorsports.
Good. So then that last event, VIR, I'm hoping to make it there. Tim and Jeff, I think, are going to be at VIR as well. I should be. Whether I'm racing my own car or whether I'm just hanging out or not, I'm not sure yet, but I will definitely be there. And then I think we might have Brian Pico, another one of our guys out there too, man. Just definitely make sure, come find us when we're running, dude. And, let's make sure we're hanging out at the track. You've got an awesome truck. And
if you guys want to ride in the truck for the road cruise, there's 2 seats in the back, technically 3 seat belts. And Jimmy says, as long as the driver and the passengers have the same safety equipment, you guys can ride in it.
Heck, man, that's perfect, dude. So, I mean, you can literally throw the whole crew in that thing.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good way too. Get people out there and show them the line if they've never seen it before.
It's just so much fun. It's just unexpected. It's just like, why is that out here? Because.
Chris Brown says you better be at Summit Point.
We're gonna try. I can't 100% say that we will yet.
Yep.
We're trying. One of the things that we're gonna check out, I think just prior to that, is the Sandhills Open Road event.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And that's in Nebraska. We're not running that because you have to register a year ahead of time.
Oh, wow.
Because you have to volunteer first and then you register. So we just want to go and check it out.
Yeah.
That's been kind of a bucket list idea for a while too. And
yeah.
You don't need anything crazy in that one either. And so it might just be fun to have the truck on that too. We'll see. So
now that would be an awesome one to get to. I've seen a few guys run that. It's always been back west for me, so
yeah,
that would be a lot of fun.
And then
I'm being told that the comment about Summit Point was directed at me, and that Chris he'll forgive you, but he's not going to forgive me for not making it. All right. Well, is the crew coming down to Florida to help me get the car put back together? Because that's what it's going to need.
Well, we know enough people in Optima that we can get it done.
I know. Maybe I'll bug Optima, Jim, and Adam. They're both him and Hannah are both about 30 minutes away from where I live.
Right.
That's cool, man. Well, right on, Tyler. Well, dude, it's been awesome having you on tonight. It's been awesome hearing about the Colorado, and just the fact that you chose something that is not fast and you're doing everything you can to make it faster. That's awesome, man. That to me is what this is about. You pick something you wanted to run and you're running it.
Well, I know it sounds funny, but it comes out of necessity because of our puppies and stuff.
Yeah.
So I can't really get a Camaro. I can't really get a vet. I can't really put the pups back there.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I don't want to run a big truck, and I like the looks of the Colorado, so I'm like, well, let's just check that out. And then I found Mallet's truck that he made for the SEMA show in 2015, and that thing was running an ATS-V bottom end.
No kidding.
And a little bit more advanced tuning than what's in my truck, and he was running like 750 horses.
God.
So, but his truck has built suspension, stuff like that. But that was kind of like, okay, that's my goal point. So
no, that's perfect, man. That's awesome. Well, dude,
we'll get there eventually.
Keep at it, man. Definitely keep at it. And we can't wait to see you out at track this year, man. I mean, I
appreciate it.
You've definitely put some serious work into that thing. So Chris is asking, are you running the LFX engine?
Nope. Wait. I always get this wrong. I think the LFX is out of the Camaro, and ours is like the LGX or something close to that. It's
what year is it?
It's a 2020.
Oh, so yeah, it's the newer one. Then it has the displacement on demand and everything built into it.
So it's just slightly different because the 2016 it has more of a V on it on the top end, where ours is more flat.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they did. I remember because when I bought my 16, the next year they came out with the 8-speed, and then it had the displacement on demand. It's a little different of it. So yeah, it's not the LFX, Chris. Chris Fitz says if I was still in Tennessee, he'd give me a hand, but Florida's a bit too far. Well, I appreciate that, brother. it is a bit of a drive for some, but I tell you, man, we got beaches and year-round sun. So,
Right?
so Tim's asking if it's tuned. You're using the programmer from Mallet, correct?
Yeah, Mallet has actually tuned the truck.
Okay, so yeah, Mallet did the tuning and everything. Tim.
Yep. I
I
don't have a remote tune for it. So.
Where's Mallet out of?
Cornelius, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a haul, man. You took it out there to get it done?
Yes. So,
wow, man.
Well, it actually worked out really good because we dropped it off coming back from Daytona.
Okay.
So we dropped it off and then came home and then came back, picked it up, and then went to Virginia.
Oh, that's perfect then. Yeah,
So
that worked out really well.
Yeah, it worked out really good, and I'd prefer to have him install it too. Just
yeah,
I don't know. It meant a little bit more for me to have him install it. Being a big fan of what he did with the Solstice and the skies and stuff of the day. He still does it, but it's just that was a big thing for me back in the day to see somebody shove a V8 in a little car. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, man. I'd love to get into a Solstice. I just they're awesome little cars. I have a buddy of mine here locally, and he let me run his, and this is fairly well prepped. I mean, he's on springs and Bilsteins. There's not a ton of aftermarket for those things unless you start getting into the kind of Euro stuff because of the platform it is. But yeah, he had 18 by 11s on it with 315s, and that car was just it did so well. I really enjoyed driving that thing.
One of the craziest ones I've heard him build with that, it literally was a twin turbo 427 in that little car.
Jeez.
I applaud the person that's going to drive that, but good Lord.
Yeah.
The weight ratio on that's insane.
I remember a few years back when Hot Rod put the LS7 in one of those things, and it was insane.
Yeah.
It was absolutely insane. Well, right on, brother. Well, Tyler, dude, I'm really happy you came on here this evening, dude. It's been a lot of fun. We can't wait to see you get back on track, man. And we're working on our fantasy league for Optima. We're gonna hopefully get that published by the end of this weekend.
Nice.
Get that published out by this weekend. So we'll have our fantasy league set up, and it'll update before every event. So
nice.
Make sure you join in the fun, man, and get your picks in for Laguna Seca.
Right?
Heck yeah, man.
A couple things with Optima. If people are looking to join and are intimidated by it, don't be. But just know your first year is going to be expensive just because you have to buy a lot of safety gear. But the good news is you buy it once and you can get it recertified every 10 years. So there is a little bit of a chunk at the beginning. Don't be scared of that because you get to use that gear for all year long. You just got to take care of it. Recertify it. But look into your hotel rooms as soon as you figure out which events you're going to, because some of those will fill up very fast.
Yeah.
So that's if you're planning on one in Virginia at the end of the year, you better be looking now because there's not a lot of hotel rooms close to VIR.
Oh yeah.
We're running with Trans Am, so just little tips and tricks from being a newbie last year. Just listen to what's going on. Ask questions. Like nobody has yet to put me down. Oh, that's a stupid question, or made me feel like crap. If anything, people have said, "Hey, check this out. Make sure you do this."
Yeah.
Like Hondo's crew at Portland, they looked out for me and said, "Hey, make sure you do your orientation laps."
Yeah.
Because they had a guy that wasn't able to do his laps because he missed the orientation lap. Just make sure you follow what's going on. It seems very hectic in the beginning, but then it kind of flows and you kind of see, okay, yes, I got to go do D&E. Oh, but I have time to go do the peak performance, the start.
Yeah.
Like you start seeing how other people are running it, and it'll make way more sense. It is very overwhelming, your very first event, but you will be so glad that you stepped into the Optima ring with all these people. I don't have any bad things to say about anybody, because if something breaks, you have so many people that are willing to help you, like just random strangers that you've never even met that are willing to help you fix it so you can get back out there and race, even if you're competing against them.
Yeah.
It's unlike any other event that I've been a part of.
No, that's the big draw to this organization, not this organization, but this community. Is that it's a family, and everyone's supporting each other, and yeah, we're competing, but there's a lot of help that goes on behind the scenes in the pits, and
Yep.
seeing people work till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning because they had an issue, and there's 3 other people that are, they could be asleep, but they're out there helping out, man. So it's
Yep.
good.
And the driveoptima.com, if anybody's interested in the rules or anything like that, check it out. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You find out, oh, hey, I'm in the GTL class or I'm in the GTS class. Okay, that's good. Now I can see who I'm competing against. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm in GTV. That's a huge class, but there's a lot
Yeah.
of cool cars in there too. So, it just gives you the insight on where you need to go on that.
That's
I do
good,
have to
man.
mention the coffee kiosks here in Minot. They're also a sponsor of mine. I greatly
Good.
appreciate their support. They're a little one stand coffee stand, and they've been supporting us this like last year, like enthused about hearing about us going to events, hearing about results and stuff like that. So I do want to say thank you to them. And I definitely couldn't be doing this without Jen, my other half. Like there's no
Cool.
way. She is absolutely amazing on this because she doesn't necessarily tell me, no, I can't go to this event. She goes, what's our best way to do it? How can we have the most fun getting there?
That's
And
cool, man.
she's kind of like my crew chief and logistics person, and she really helps out, and I couldn't do it without her. My buddy Nick, who is I've known him since high school. He's probably one of my best friends ever, and I couldn't do a lot of the things at these events without him. That's one reason why we drive actually all the way to Portland, so he can go and check it out too. So
That's cool.
we'll get him into a vehicle and get him out here soon.
Heck yeah, man.
My parents definitely for getting me into cars when I was young. That's really helped. My grandma getting me into Hot Wheels, that probably locked that one in when I was young, just seeing all the cool cars and Hot Wheels. So it's
Good, dude.
it's been a journey, but taking the time to do Optima, I will get her a car. We're working on it. She already has a list of which ones. We just have to narrow it down. She would love to come out and compete again. She's actually missing it, but she has fun just being there with me and stuff. And she helps with videos and making sure I eat. I tend not to eat when I'm at the track just because I'm too focused on everything else.
Yeah.
She makes sure that I'm good. There's a few times that I had to get back into my helmet, and she's guided me back to that, and I really appreciate that. Just getting frustrated at a lap, or I know I could do better, and she just reels me back in and tells me something either funny or something to get me angry, so I go out there and just give it hell. So
That's cool, man. Hell yeah. That's good, dude. That's the way it works, man. That's awesome. Yeah, racing's a family affair, and it really is. So that's cool.
I can't say how appreciative I've been of people that I've gotten to meet in Optima.
Mm-hmm.
They may not think that they're like a celebrity or somebody famous, but a handful of these guys, just straight off the top of my head, I've looked up to them for a while because I've loved their builds, or I've watched the Optima Network on Roku so many times. I've watched every episode, and I've seen how hard they've come from here and there. And then to be able to like just talk to them like normal human beings kind of blew me away.
Yeah.
And I get a couple of funny ones from Portland. Is when I first met Hundo. I saw the Blazer coming down the road, and I had just gotten some older free shirts from Jimmy Day because it's pretty cool to do like that.
Yeah.
And I was literally fumbling to try to get my phone out of my pocket, and he saw me and literally just stopped, and then he waved me over so he could say hi and stuff. I'm like, holy crap! Like this is just. I was blown away by that moment because to him, I'm looking up to him. His build is amazing.
and he's just down to earth. Laid back apparel. I mean, it fits so well, and I still cherish that moment. Like, even the first time getting to meet Matt Ramirez and his dad, like, they were just the same way. Like, wait a minute, I watched you guys compete and stuff, and then here you are, and Super Dave. Like, it's just, I'm blown away by how accepting everybody is, and it's just everybody looks out for everybody, and it's an amazing series and group of people. I couldn't have asked for anything better. Even running a truck that's underpowered and like no suspension and like just stock stuff. I mean, if I get little rips on it, that's fine. I'm expecting that. If I don't get that, then I'm doing something wrong. Like, and so it's been one of the best decisions that we've made to join it.
That's good, man. That's awesome to hear. And so, like, anybody out there that hasn't ran before, get behind, get in there, get behind the wheel, get to the track. We've if you got questions on safety equipment, give us a call. We've actually got a complete setup that we designed specifically for newcomers to Optima, where it's literally helmet all the way down to shoes in a bag you can take anywhere you want. So
then you just got to remember the little stuff to wash it, because that's a fire retardant stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So get your butt in the car. That's the biggest thing.
Yep.
So yeah, man. Tyler, dude, I love hearing your story, man, and I love hearing the fact that you've got, that you've got this passion to get out there and run, man, and the fact that you're running in a Colorado just makes it that much better. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I love that. That's so cool. And
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. But dude, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I really, it's been a fun show, man, and I hope people tune in on this. We're gonna post this thing up to Spotify here. I think Braden will get it up either tonight or tomorrow, so it'll be on Spotify for those that didn't catch it. And thank you again for everybody coming in and hanging out with us. And Tyler, thank you.
And thank you for having me, and thank you for everybody for being here. I greatly appreciate it, and I don't know if I can express that enough.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.